Hey guys, Tyler here. Just got back from our 2018 Colorado high country mule deer hunt, and I'm sitting here with my buddy Josh, and we just kind of wanted to sit down here and kind of just recap our hunt, mostly just to kind of categorize it for us. We want to talk about gear, we want to talk about altitude, talk about food, just kind of talk about some of our big takeaways for the hunt. So, Josh, where do you want to go from here?
I think the biggest thing for me was that elevation, so I think that's probably a pretty good place to start. You know, when I got the inReach turned down in Columbus, it said 1,400 feet, and we got as high as 12.5, so we were a long ways from home. And I don't know, I mean, in terms of preparation for that, I mean, you talked about how big the country is and how, you know, the elevation was going to be a major thing. And I really don't think you can get ready for that, prepare for that from a cardiovascular standpoint, lifting, CrossFit, running, until you're standing on the ground. You know, I think we both, you know, we were talking throughout the hunt a lot. It was basically day 3, it seemed like, where we really felt like we kind of caught our wind, you know. And so I just think, you know, you work hard, you try to get in the best shape that you can. Because day 3, wherever you're at, you're going to get acclimated and start to kind of feel like, you know, you're ready to go after them a little bit. But it definitely took its toll, especially on that hike in. You know, that first 2.5 miles was straight up. It was hard, but
that was rough. So where were we camped? Was it 11.6, 11.7?
About 11.6, yeah.
Yeah, and then we were hunting every day, right about 12,000 feet, and up from there for the most part, give or take a couple hundred feet there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would agree. Same thing for me. That hike in was freaking brutal. I was pretty sick the weeks leading up to the hunt. I was on a Z-Pack on prednisone. I was pretty miserable, pretty wheezy still hiking in, but day 3 rolled around, and I actually was in stride, was feeling great at that point. You know, muscles were finally feeling good, lungs were feeling good, and at that point I felt like we could have gone forever at that point, though, once we got acclimated.
Yeah, I mean, we never really felt sore. I don't think it was more the elevation, you know, just take 5 steps, you know, lose your air, basically, you know. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things your body's got to get caught up to where we were at. You know, we went from 1,400 feet to 1,200 feet, or 12,000 feet basically in a day, you know. So, I mean,
doing everything wrong. Everything they say not to do, but we made it work.
We drank a lot of water. We drank a lot of Gatorade to try to compensate and try to just protect ourselves. It
didn't help that when we came in and we were exhausted already. You'd worked all night the night before, so we drove 12 hours from home to the trailhead, hiked in immediately. So we had a 16-hour day, and then only slept a few hours that night before. So we were going into it pretty run down already, but we made it work.
I mean, I don't know how else we could have done it. I think in terms of how it all came together, we had really great weather. We had really
almost too good.
Yeah, basically, we had nothing that went wrong per se. I mean, really everything.
No, there's some minor gear issues, but we'll get to some of that. But overall, weather couldn't have been any better. It was pretty hot, dry, miserable, pretty windy. But other than that, we can't account for that.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling Josh, I've never had a year where I've never had to use my rain gear as little as we did. Normally you're living in it. This year we put it on once for a 5-minute squall, and then it was gone.
Basically to say we did it.
We didn't even need to use it, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah. Anything else you want to touch about with anything you do differently, altitude, any prep meds or anything like that, Diamox?
You know, I mean, I think obviously fluids are important. I mean, kind of to piggyback on to, or kind of maybe get us started into the gear talk, one thing that really helped with making the elevation a little bit more tolerable for whatever, I mean, I grew up in South Dakota, so I mean, I didn't really know what a hill was, or a mountain, if you will. So having trekking poles is something for me that kept me on both feet. I went on an elk hunt last October, and you know, there was some snow the first part of that hunt, and I spent a significant portion of that hunt on my backside. So having the trekking poles made a big difference for me in terms of just being able to navigate some of the side hills. I mean, some of that stuff is so steep, you know. It was, you know, you're kind of a 3-point to 4-point stance at times trying to climb up, and then coming down, you're just kind of praying that you're not going to, you know, end up sliding down the hill. So for me, the trekking poles were a really big thing in terms of helping with that from a gear standpoint.
No, I'd agree. I used to always make fun of people that use trekking poles until I actually use trekking poles. You know, there's times where they're a hindrance. There's times where they're really nice. I think they make me more efficient going uphill. They definitely help coming downhill. You know, I got bad knees the way it is, and coming downhill, it's a real knee saver for me. Mm-hmm. I definitely big proponent of the trekking poles. Even though I will sometimes still be stubborn and not use them, but I need to. Any other gear issues while we're on the gear topic? We pretty much packed in with everything under the sun, but yeah, I think we left the kitchen sink at home, but not by much.
Well, we were at my pack was 49 pounds. That was without
prior to water
and a gun. So, I mean, for me, I mean, this is basically my first legit backpack hunt or backcountry style hunt. So, for me to kind of figure out what to keep, what to not, what I was going to need kind of thing. There was a big learning curve for me. I'd done a little bit like I was talking about in October, but this was definitely a totally different style. So, you know, Tyler obviously did a lot of work with me in terms of, you know, shedding this and that. I'm a little bit of I don't know how you want to say it.
Backcountry novice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a novice, but in terms of the gear, I like a lot of luxury items, I guess you should say.
Yeah.
So, you know, there were some things. Yeah. You know, there's some things I packed that, you know, at the time I was like, oh, maybe I don't need this, but man, it would really be nice to have it. So I thought, you know, throw it in, a few extra ounces here and there. You know, I was actually shocked to see that my pack was 49 pounds. I mean, thinking it might be a little bit more than that. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, looking back, I'm happy with really how all the gear that I brought performed. You know, we're fortunate, and I guess I'm fortunate enough to have had Tyler to kind of tell me all the things that he likes and dislikes, and kind of helped me, you know, form my gear list or my current setup in a way that allows me to be relatively light, but at the same time comfortable. And for me, you know, in terms of sleep system and that kind of stuff, you know, I need to be relatively comfortable. I felt like, you know, we had everything pretty well dialed in. You know, obviously
by the end of the hunt, we had it all dialed, but
yeah. I mean, you know, all that stuff kind of takes time. And this is the first time that we'd really been on a hunting trip of any magnitude. Yeah. We went to South Dakota a couple of days last fall. Yeah. Kind of tromped around a little bit, but you know, for us to be in the backcountry for 6 days and deal with some of the highs and lows of hunting, you know, I can put any relationship or anything to attest. So as much as the gear is important, the guy that you bring with you is probably
more important.
Yeah, so,
really.
You know, we both came back home alive, and so with no black eyes,
and no homicides.
Yeah, it was a win from that standpoint.
Yeah. You want to talk about the shelter that you packed in?
So I spent a lot of time researching in terms of shelters and what I, you know, kind of thought was something that would be, you know, a benefit for not only myself but my hunting partners. And I've got a twin brother and a dad that I want to take hunting and backcountry style hunting, and they don't have the same ambition, shall we say. And so for me, I wanted to get this shelter that I could use for multiple different hunts. So this I guess early summer, I kind of pulled the trigger on a Seek Outside shelter. I got a red cliff with a half liner and a half nest. Mainly because I'm a princess and I don't want to sleep on the ground, and I don't like bugs, I guess. So the half nest is incredible in terms of
nice.
having two of us.
It slept both of us comfortably.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of room above us and at the foot and at the shoulders. You know,
yeah,
you could fit two grown ass men and 2 dogs probably in there if you wanted to. You wouldn't need to in that shelter because it's so big, but
right. I mean, we had, our, sleep systems obviously, but we had gear in there, stuff that we wanted to kind of make sure was, close to us. And I mean, we had room to spare, I mean.
And that's 6 to 8 man shelters, what they advertise?
They actually advertise 3 to 6.
3 to 6?
Yeah. And, I mean, if you didn't have the half nest in there, obviously that kind of makes it, obviously that adds weight and those kind of things. But I shoved the entire shelter in between. I have an exo pack in between the, basically the frame and my backpack. And
it worked pretty well.
It worked really well. I mean, it carries well. It packs easy. From my standpoint, I couldn't be happier. Obviously, there's a little bit of a learning curve. I'd never obviously had a teepee style tent, which that's a little bit of a high red, but
it was nice.
Tyler gave me a few tips on how to tighten it down a little bit. We had some wind, as he was alluding to earlier.
A lot of wind.
So there was a few nights where, the first couple nights we didn't get as much sleep maybe as we would have liked, just because it was blowing a little bit, or flapping, if you will. But once we got her tightened down, I mean, to me, it was nice.
It was like you said, it's like sleeping in a palace. There was so much room. So we were sleeping in the half nest, and the other 2/3 of the tent, we had sprawled out all our gear, our weapons. Like there was, I think comfortably you could probably get 3 guys with all your gear in the tent. Mm-hmm. You could probably fit, you could definitely sleep 6 in there, but I'm not sure you're putting all that gear though.
Yeah.
That's when it's gonna get tricky, is just all your gear, especially on a backpack style hunt.
Yeah.
Car camping hunt, you're actually gonna have more gear, so it might be even tougher. But
yeah, I mean, if you're just using strictly to sleep, you're definitely getting 6 grown men in there. I mean, we had rain. He did a great job with
one
the
rain.
Night. We had the biggest downfall or the thing. I've set it up outside several times. We had gone to California and Big Sur to camp with it, and it performed great. But to see it in the wilderness area, in basically a situation where you've got a 13 by 9, roughly speaking, tent, it takes up a pretty good chunk of
the footprint is massive.
It's massive. I mean, for us too, it was definitely not necessary.
Overkill,
but
it was overkill, but
I mean,
nice.
I mean, in terms of, if we would have gotten rain, we were able to sit in there and stand up and dress, and for me, for a novice or somebody that's not used to maybe living on kind of more of the lighter side of things, I couldn't have asked for a better place to just be every day. I mean, for me, the shelter and the sleep system are the 2 most important things in terms of comfort for me. And I mean, the Seek Outside shelter knocked that out of the park. It was perfect. I'm extremely happy with how it performed, and I'm excited to take it on another trip. And obviously for one man, it's not what you need, but when you've got a couple guys, it really does a nice job of just keeping everybody comfortable. So
perfect. I'll just briefly touch on my gear here. Pretty much, I'm super happy with my setup. I've been pretty much rocking the same setup for a while now, last probably 3 or 4 years. I'll probably do a couple other videos touching base on all my gear, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but did you want to talk about any gear failures? Did you have any gear failures other than the tent guy line breaking on us? Which
I did have a guy line break, which shocked me.
I've never had that happen ever.
The one thing, we had it really, really tight. It's about 7 foot tall. And in the space that we had it mostly tied down to tent stakes, but there was places where ground was a little bit loose. There was actually a big tree that we were by, and so some of it was a little bit difficult to kind of tie out, straight line, stuff like that. But yeah, I was kind of shocked to see that line pulled, but I mean, that's truly how hard the wind was blowing at times. And I mean, the tent performed really well. I'm not really sure.
You didn't have any gear issues. I had a couple gear issues before we ever started.
Yeah, like the night before.
Yeah. So
the most important thing ever.
Yeah. So my big gear failure, my hydration bladder freaking broke on me the night as before I was packing up, and I didn't have an extra one here. And in the small town we live in, you can't just go down to the store and find a new one. So I spent some nice money this year, bought a brand new Camelback, like military grade 3-liter reservoir. Well, long story short, I will never buy another Camelback product ever again because it leaked like a sieve. It soaked all my gear the night before. I was packed up, ready to go, and I moved my pack, and there's a puddle underneath of it. All 3 liters drained from the bladder. It was a freaking mess. So I had to scramble and figure out a backup plan, and that ended up being just 2 1-liter Nalgene's. So that's what I had for this entire backpack trip. It was kind of miserable, but we made do. I survived. I have now already upgraded my system, so I'll be rocking just a 4-liter Drum Light Msr bag, and I'm going with the heavy one because I don't want to have to deal with another gear malfunction. And believe it or not, that 4-liter Dromedary bag is actually like only 1.5 ounces heavier than the Drum Light bag, which is the Drum Light is plastic versus the Dromedary bag is like a cloth bag. So for the extra little weight, it should be what I need. So, and other than that, like my biggest gear upgrade this year, I bought a new tent, but we ended up going with Josh's. But I ditched the actual pump water filter, and we brought 2 means of filtration. We used a Steri pen for just the Nalgene's itself, and then I brought gosh dang, what were those? The drops, the Aquamire, the drops, which is my first time ever using them. But I had a 10-liter Dromedary bag from MSR that we just filled from the creek, and every time we got back to camp, we would just treat the water, and it worked. You know, it saved about 1 pound of my water system. So I'll definitely, given the chance, with clean water, you know, on a high country mule deer hunt, I might just go straight with the droplets. You gotta give it about 30 minutes, but I thought it worked good. You know, we didn't have any issues.
For us, you know, we were able to do 10 liters at a time.
It was nice.
You know, so we, you know, that first night we got there, we did all the Steri pen of the Nalgene's, and then we had 10 liters. We let it sit.
And that lasted us, what, 3 days?
Yeah.
It was a stretch on that 3rd day, but we made it work.
Yeah.
So
I mean, really, there's no complaints in terms of what we have from system as water. I mean, first of all, the most important thing, we didn't get sick. It worked, you know. And then we had water for 3 days. You know, I mean, we were able to hunt more. We didn't have to go and do that in the middle of the night. Yeah. I mean, it really went about as perfectly as possible from that standpoint.
Yeah. You want to talk about like one luxury item you brought? You had a bunch of them, but was there one that you're gonna like always take with you, other than your cucumber wet wipes?
I thought you might hit on the dry shampoo. But,
yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, don't knock it till you try it. First of all, the cucumber wipes, it's don't look past that. But the dry shampoo, if you want to feel fresh.
It was actually nice. I had one night.
You feel good, you smell good, you jump in that bag, because that's about the only part of you that smells good after about 6 days, let me tell you. It was refreshing. But probably for me, one of the things that I thought was most important for us was, I've got these like expandable lights. You know, they're solar powered, but they're like a tube. You blow them up like a balloon, and then they kind of are, I don't know, they probably sit, you know, 4 or 5 inches tall.
Something like that.
And they collapse down to basically nothing. And so they're easy to pack. You know, they're I don't know what they are in terms of ounces, but you know, they're not anything significant in my opinion. Now, obviously, you add all those ounces up, and it's a pound. But I think it worked really well for just lighting the tent in terms of changing, playing cards. The deck of cards that we brought.
That's my luxury item. The deck of cards was amazing.
Yeah,
it was nice. Other
was,
than all my camera gear that I hardly use, but the deck of cards, I'll probably always pack a deck of cards. I'm gonna try to find like a half deck. I'm sure they make them, but that's what I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade my luxury item. But it was nice, you know.
Well, I mean,
I got my ass kicked in war, but jeez, it was a good time. It was nice having it though.
Yeah,
it was really nice having it.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, those lights. I don't know.
Those lights were nice.
I don't want to put this on the internet, but I guess I'm afraid of the dark. Not necessarily the dark, but what's in the dark.
Yeah, fair
so
enough.
I mean, it's always nice to have a little bit extra light, I think.
Especially when all you pack is you're packing back with just headlights.
Well, I mean, I guess honestly, the biggest component of that is you're able to save your light because we were on our lights. You know, obviously you're about an hour in the morning and an hour at night, and then you know when we ended up harvesting the deer that we did, you know, we were in the dark for a couple hours, you know.
What time we get back to camp that night? 9:30? No, it was
probably 10-ish.
It was earlier than we thought. Yeah, I think it was 10:30.
So
I'll be honest, I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it was plenty late, but
it was before midnight. It was before midnight. For
we were tired, but
yeah.
So I mean, just saving some of the, you know, the power on a light that you're taking with you every day. I mean, you're relying on that a significant portion of the time. So,
so if you had to transition away from the luxury item, like what's your one gear item this year that like you can't live without now, other than your tent?
I did bring a pillow. I thought you
hated that.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm going to move away from it.
Okay, but like if there's one that you're going to keep though, like your one gear item that like you can't live without now.
I would keep the lights for sure.
The lights.
Yeah, I mean for me, I think because just all the stuff that we just talked about. I mean, I think
it was
in terms of lighting up the tent, you don't have to use a headlamp. I mean,
there might be weight savings if you start looking at like batteries. You know, there might be a weight savings.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you start thinking about. Like, I don't know, having your headlamp on and you're using it and I mean, to me it's just nice to just not have that thing on your head, to be able to just kind of have not natural, but just have light in the tent or wherever it is you're at.
Nice.
And just, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's a little homey, if you will, you know, just kind of makes a little bit of touch to kind of make it feel a little bit
less like you're backpacking.
Yeah, less like you're out in the tent.
Feels like you're at the lodge.
Yeah. So that to me, you know, I brought that on every hunt that I've taken, and I really think that for the weight that they are, how easily they pack, it's nothing. Even if you throw one in, they put off a lot of light. You know,
surprisingly for a solar power little light.
Yeah, I mean, I took them to Hawaii with me. And it was like, I mean, it's just, I'm surprised they've lasted this long. You know,
that's
like,
true. Yeah,
they were charged well. They've done well. I think they're $20.
Yeah, actually, I saw a similar brand, but same concept at Walmart just the other day. I think it was $15 for one. So you know, very very similar. I don't think they're the same ones.
Your next trip, you won't regret it.
And as far as so I already mentioned my luxury item would have been the deck of cards, and my one new gear item. It's gonna have to be my new backpack stove, that Msr Reactor Stove. That thing was amazing. You know, I've been a big jet boil fan in the past, but this reactor just blows that thing out of the water. I've never ever in my life ran through a whole tank of fuel because I've always gone with other people and we're just using our own stuff. But we did run through a whole tank. But we got I think 15. I think it died on the 16th boil. So that was, we were boiling 3 times a day. That was coffee in the morning, 1 boil for the both of us, and then 2 separate boils at night. And like I said, it lasted about 15 boils, and that was at that was at an elevation of 11.6 and higher. So that fuel is going a long way. I'll be honest, with that said, that was even with a non-MSR reactor fuel canister, and I do know the MSR reactors, or the MSR fuel has a little bit more in it. So yeah, the thing was amazing. You know, I was using the Mountain House Pro Pack Mule, so it's 1 3/4 cup of water, and that was boiling that thing. I swear it was less than a minute. It was screaming. And like I said, that was at camp, and we're at 11.6, and I think you're gonna have rolling boiling water in
Faster
60
than a
seconds.
microwave, let's just put it
Oh
that
gosh, it was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
It was good.
Definitely love it. That thing will be going everywhere with me. Yeah, that's my big new item that I absolutely love. So other than that, any big takeaways? I guess as you kind of alluded to, it was a somewhat successful of a hunt, but
yeah, I mean,
it wasn't what we were expecting.
It was a little bit like, you know, we're in a situation where, you know, we'd obviously put a lot of time in preparation, and, you know, I mean, I had never been on a mule deer hunt at that elevation with a muzzleloader. So, I mean, really any animal that I was going to take at that point was a trophy. And so, you know, we had elected to, you know, pass some deer up and try to look to, you know, find a animal that we were a little bit more confident that was in this unit. It just never really materialized, unfortunately.
And I've hunted this unit a lot in the past, so I know the kind of quality that this unit had. I've killed a 170-inch mule deer in there. I've had another buddy that I helped kill a 170-inch mule deer. I've seen 200-inch mule deer here, you know. But this year, we didn't see anything. You know, we killed the biggest deer that we saw. We saw one buck that was shot at that was probably bigger, but he was 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, and we saw him for 30 seconds. He may have been a 160-inch deer, but yeah, it was bad hunting this year. I don't know if it was the conditions, the drought, just the year or the popularity of the unit. I have no idea, but I'll probably be moving on at this point, trying a new unit. I definitely won't be burning preference points to hunt this unit ever again, but it was a good trip. You know, definitely my goal was to get you a deer. You know, I've killed plenty of deer in my life, and we made it happen. And the stock was as picture perfect as it could have gone. You know, we both stalked into, I guess I should have ran on your parade. You shot the deer.
Well, I mean, I guess, you know, in terms of describing it, you know, going into the hunt, you know, you try to picture, you know, how it's going to look and how you're going to stalk it on the animal. And, you know, we had been sitting there looking at this space and basically pleading for a deer to be in there. And we got down, we decided, you know, we kind of knew where the deer had been earlier in the day, and thought, well, we tried to get a different perspective, and, you know, we did. And at that point, you know, you were like, oh, they're not there, you know. And I like pulled them. I was like, oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we knew we'd found our deer back. And I mean, at that point, I'm kind of standing there. It's like 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, I want to go shoot that deer, you know, kind of expecting Tyler to be like, because this is a long ways away at this point. I mean, we're talking,
what, 800 feet probably?
Yeah, we've got a significant amount of elevation to gain in a short amount of time. And, you know, I mean, I'm kind of like, let's go get him. You know, like, you want to go get him? And I'm like, let's do it. And so we got up to a point where we kind of ditched our bags, grabbed our guns, and I mean, it was a forced march. You know, we turned how many ever 800 feet, whatever it was, pretty quickly. Within about 20 minutes to a half hour, we're standing within, my rangefinder was roughly, I don't know exactly where the deer is standing, but in or around 60 to 70.
All right, guys, sorry. Camera battery just took a shitter, and we continued to talk for how long? Probably 30 more minutes.
It was bad.
It was good.
It sounded good.
It was good. It was good. So I believe it cut off where Josh was talking about the last bit of the
cliffhanger.
Stock. Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
So there you go. You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to watch the video when that comes out here shortly. Sorry. There's no replicating that awesome epic storytelling that we just did. So you're gonna have to watch the YouTube video that I will make. That which will probably fall short of our epic storytelling ability that we just did.
It's probably better that the story got cut off, because it's probably better than the video.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Probably, but you'll have to see. So we're just going to kind of wrap this up. I don't know if we talked about it, the hunt was awesome. I had a good time. It was great. Definitely looking forward to getting back to the high country Colorado. It probably won't be that unit, but
yeah,
we'll find something else.
Anytime you can do that kind of style of hunting, it's not about the animal that you bring home. We were able to have 6 days out in country.
But it kind of is.
I mean, I'm not mad about what we got to bring home. I mean, we've got some great steaks that we've already had, some jerky, all kinds of stuff. But I mean, in terms of what I will remember, it's not about, well, there is one part of that I will remember. The 5, 6, I don't know, many 100 feet and barrel rolls that deer did going down the hill. I will never forget that, but.
Watch the video to see those.
It's impressive. But just the country, I mean, it's unlike anything that you'll ever experience, and to be able to go and do that and be living out there for 6 days was incredible. So for me, I mean, that was worth it. I mean, that was all the lack of deer, if you will, or just the struggle in terms of the hunt. It was all made worth it by the fact that, you know, we got to be in a place that you can't look out your window and see that kind of stuff here. So,
and not many people get to in general, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think how fortunate. I mean, I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would ever be doing a hunt like that, and so for me to be there was really, I had already won.
And really to do it inexpensively, other than the gear, you know, like the gear is the biggest investment. Once you get that gear, like we could do that hunt again tomorrow, and it's only going to cost you gas, food, and the cost of the tag. Yeah. So you're talking $100,000. Yeah. You know. So. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Where are we going? Like, what's?
I wish it was March and we were putting in for tags again.
Oh man, I'm already planning for next year. Yeah. Speaking of planning, what do you got planned for the rest of this year?
I've got a couple tags for South Dakota. I'm really excited. I drew a West River South Dakota rifle tag. Been a couple years. So biggest thing with moving to Nebraska, I didn't care about moving to Nebraska. I just didn't want to give up my residency for a lot of reasons. I don't get to hunt pheasants every time I want, and I'm really tough to draw a deer tag. Matter of fact, where I'm from, I can't even draw a deer tag with a rifle. And so it's about every other year in the unit that I'm applying for in South Dakota. So this year I was fortunate to draw. There's always a potential to shoot a really nice deer, which is really nice. I've got a bow tag for back home. We've got some ground that we have some access to. We're able to kind of manage it, if you will. And so, you know, we've been pretty successful in terms of taking 1 or 2 nice deer off there every year. And then Nebraska.
A lot of opportunity here.
Oh my God. You know, public ground is something that, you know,
it's kind of hard to find out here.
Around Norfolk.
Very hard to find.
You know, I mean, where we're at, it's tough. Western Nebraska.
Still hard to find.
There's more opportunity, but you've got to drive a long ways. So Tyler's going to get to do a little bit of that here in the next couple of weeks, which is great. I'll let him scout, find the big deer, and then I'll go over there and hopefully get a chance to shoot him.
That's fine with me, man. As long as one of us gets one.
Right. So,
and on video this time.
Absolutely. So I got a tag in Nebraska, 2 tags in South Dakota. So for me, I mean, having 4 tags, that's a really good year. That's going to keep me plenty busy. So I'm excited. We got a lot planned. I get to do a little bit of hunting with my family, which is always a good time. I know you got a couple hunts planned with your family. So, yeah, that's really what it's about, getting to be able to spend time with, you know, your family. So. Yeah.
As far as me, I already came back from, I had a nice successful hunt in North Dakota. Video to follow.
Shoots a really small deer. I wouldn't watch the video.
He's pretty nice. He's pretty nice. Full velvet, pristine. Yeah.
150 inches, but.
Yeah. 150-inch whitetail small.
Oh, yeah.
But so it was a successful hunt in North Dakota. We had a successful hunt in Colorado. I didn't get a buck, but we came home with something, which was the most important part. With a bank full of memories.
Oh my God, she's my friend.
And I have a pocket full of tags here in Nebraska. So Nebraska is a $2 state, so you can. It gets kind of confusing on the tags you can get, but you can have 2 buck tags and pretty much as many doe tags as you want to purchase. So I have, I think, 4 or 5 tags here in Nebraska right now. I'll be heading back to Colorado. I'll get an elk tag back at the family's ranch for 3rd rifle. My brother has a buck tag back at the ranch as well. Other than that, I'm still debating whether or not I can pick up a South Dakota archery tag or not, but it just kind of depends on how good the hunting is in western Nebraska, what kind of land I can find, what kind of bucks I can see. By no means am I holding out for anything special. I'll probably shoot a forky with my bow here in Nebraska if I can find one.
I mean, he's only got like 70 days to hunt, so I mean, he'll be able to turn up some deer.
I hope so.
If nothing else, if you're not watching the YouTube for the deer hunting or the hunting,
you can watch it for my comic relief.
Or the fact that you're growing a beard. I don't know if you can see it right now on camera, but let me tell you right now, this is the best beard. This is a really good beard year for Tyler Presler.
This is the best beard year I've had.
And we're catching it all on YouTube, so stay tuned because the next time you see him, you may not recognize him.
It's I'm getting an early start on No Shave November, and it's September 26th.
And this is incredible. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
He's got, I mean,
it's bad.
To kill big deer, you got to have a beard in the Midwest because you got to protect your face from the cold. And he's well on his way.
So after Josh shot his buck, I told him, I'm like, well, I guess I'm not shaving until I kill another deer. So it could be a while.
It's going to get ratty. And
it's already ratty.
Yeah, it's relatively unprofessional, but.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. It's bad. So
lock up the women and children. He's gonna drive a van to work from now on.
With limo tinting.
And carpet on the walls.
Shag carpet. But yeah. So that pretty much sums up my year. I'm already planning some hunts in 2018. I'm getting excited for 2018. It's gonna be a fun year. 2019. Looking at trying to get a bear hunt in. I was just gonna do it by myself, but so far everyone I've talked to, everyone kind of seems to be on board. So it could be interesting. We could have 3-5 people possibly on this hunt. So hopefully it'll work out. We'll see, but yeah, already kind of in planning mode for next year. I know it's kind of hard to believe because this year is kind of just already started. A lot of hunting left, but kind of got to be already thinking that way. So.
Well, it definitely seems like it sneaks up on you.
Every year, it bites you in the ass.
Oh man!
Yeah. I didn't apply here.
This
didn't
state,
apply
that
there.
state, whatever. And I mean, we're young enough at this point where some of these places or some of these tags may take you 15, 16 points. So if we can start getting those points or start getting those preference
maybe
points,
some point in my life I can hunt.
That once in a lifetime tag, you might get lucky on your 15th or 16th year. And at that point, hopefully we'll still be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really about kind of collecting all those points just for the chance of being able to do something. So,
got to be in the game. There's just, if you're not applying, there's just never a chance. There's obviously opportunity states for deer like Nebraska. Colorado's relatively easy to get a tag. It may not be a great tag, and then elk's over the counter. But there's always opportunity states. But I don't know. We all have those dreams and those aspirations. I want to shoot a 200-inch buck just like everyone else. I would like to shoot a 350 plus bull. Like we all have those dreams and those aspirations, and someday it's gonna happen. It wasn't Colorado this year, but someday I hope to be in this situation where it will happen. So, yeah.
Maybe there's a lot of 2018. Though.
There is. There's some nice hunting here in Nebraska, and you just never freaking know.
We're in a good place. There's a lot of opportunity from a general tag standpoint. Going by a bow tag, going by a muzzleloader tag, whatever it is in the state of Nebraska. So. Access is difficult.
Very, very difficult.
There's opportunity, and where there's opportunity, there's a chance. So,
I just need one more deer in my freezer, and then I'm set for the year for meat. So then the true trophy hunting begins. So
he's starting to shoot like 3-pointers or something.
does and forkies.
Not forkies.
Does and forkies for me.
On the trip, we're sitting there the last day, and I'm like, forkies.
There's the night before the last day.
Literally, a forky follows us back in to camp.
Not quite.
He's got his hand held out with a bucket full of corn. He wouldn't shoot him. It's like, this is an easy pack out. You've got your tag. We get to onion rings faster. Actually, sriracha wings.
Wings.
Oh my goodness.
Wings and beer.
Good night. But anyway,
I'm not packing a forky out of the wilderness. Not happening. Not happening. No.
I had already forgotten how bad it sucked to hike one deer out.
Yeah, I know. I'll eat tag soup, but yeah.
And we did.
Well, I did, but your buck tastes good. We've already had a bunch of steaks, a bunch of jerky, some burger. Yeah, he eats well. For a mule deer, you know, he eats
organic,
well.
100%.
Yeah. I eat mule deer. But anyways, guys, I think that sums up this video. Again, sorry for the mid-video interruption, but yeah, I'm excited for the rest of 2018. I'm gonna start dropping some extra videos for you guys. We'll start with the North Dakota mule deer. Geez, oh Pete, the North Dakota whitetail. We'll follow up with the Colorado mule deer, and then kind of some random just public land Nebraska hunts. Followed up with Colorado, possibly some South Dakota, whether or not I can make it up there or not. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time.